Comparison between BMW i3 versus BMW i3 Neue Klasse versus BMW Vision Neue Klasse. 3 cars, 1 name, and a story that spans over a decade of Bill's most ambitious electric vision. We're talking about the original BMW i3, the quirky little city car that started it all, the brand new BMW i3 Neue Klasse that brings that name back for a modern age, and the BMW Vision Neue Klasse, the concept that showed the world exactly where BMW is heading. These 3 cars represent 3 completely different eras of electric thinking, and comparing them back to back reveals just how dramatically BMW's philosophy, and frankly the entire EV industry, has evolved. So let's get into it. The original BMW i3, the pioneer. First, let's go back to 2013. BMW launched the i3, and at the time, it was genuinely unlike anything else on the road. The design was polarizing, short, upright, with a tall greenhouse and those distinctive coach doors that swung open without a B-pillar. It looked like something from the future, or depending on your taste, something from a design school experiment that went a little too far. Under the skin, though, BMW was doing something genuinely radical. The i3 was built on a life module, a carbon fiber reinforced plastic passenger cell sitting on an aluminum drive module below. In 2013, using CFERP in a mass-market electric car was almost unheard of. It made the i3 extremely light for its class, which helped offset its relatively modest battery. Speaking of which, the original i3 launched with a 22 kilowatt-hour battery and a range of roughly 130 to 160 kilometers in real-world conditions. A later update in 2018 brought a 42.2 kilowatt-hour pack, pushing that closer to 260 to 310 kilometers. By today's standards, modest. But remember the context. This was the early days. Power came from a single rear-mounted electric motor producing around 170 horsepower, which gave the i3 a surprisingly punchy feel for its size. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour took about 3 seconds. Not supercar numbers, but perfectly quick for a city runabout. Inside, BMW leaned hard into sustainability. Recycled plastics, eucalyptus wood, naturally tanned leather. The i3's interior was a statement about responsible manufacturing, not just electric drivetrain technology. It was ahead of its time in ways that still feel relevant today. The i3 wasn't perfect. Its range anxiety was real. The fast charging was limited by modern standards, and that narrow rear track made it feel a touch nervous at motorway speeds. But as a proof of concept, as a demonstration that a mainstream carmaker could rethink the automobile from scratch, it was extraordinary. The BMW i3 Neue Klasse, the revival. Fast forward to now, and BMW has brought back the i3 name, but the car wearing it today is a completely different animal. The new i3 is built on BMW's Neue Klasse platform, a ground-up electric architecture developed specifically for the next generation of BMW vehicles. This isn't a converted petrol platform. This isn't a compromise. This is BMW starting with a blank sheet of paper and asking, what should an electric BMW actually be? The result is a compact executive sedan, somewhere in size between the current 3 Series and 1 Series, with a silhouette that's clean, modern, and far more conventional than its predecessor. If the original i3 shouted, "Look at me," the new one says something quieter and perhaps more confident, "I belong here." The proportions are long, low, and aerodynamically optimized. The front end carries BMW's latest headlight design, flatter, sharper, more technical looking. At the rear, a clean horizontal light bar ties everything together. There's nothing avant-garde about it, and that's actually the point. BMW wants the Neue Klasse to feel aspirational, not eccentric. Under the skin, the platform brings a suite of new technologies. A 6th-generation eDrive system promises significantly improved efficiency, with BMW claiming gains of up to 30% in range compared to the current generation. Battery technology has advanced considerably. We're looking at cylindrical cells with higher energy density, faster charging, and better thermal management. Range estimates sit in the region of 500 to 600 kilometers on a single charge, with charging speeds that can take you from 10 to 80% in well under 30 minutes under ideal conditions. Inside, the new i3 introduces the panoramic iDrive system, a large, curved display that integrates instrument cluster, infotainment, and heads-up display into one seamless interface. BMW's operating system has been redesigned from scratch. Physical buttons are fewer, but the ones that remain are deliberately placed and genuinely intuitive. Compared to the original, the new i3 is a generational leap. More range, more space, more refinement, more technology. It's the electric BMW that enthusiasts can genuinely get excited about. Not because it's radical, but because it's excellent. The BMW Vision Neue Klasse, the dream. Now let's talk about the car that started the whole conversation, the BMW Vision Neue Klasse. concept. Unveiled in 2023, the Vision Neue Klasse isn't a production car. It's BMW's definitive statement about the future, a design and technology manifesto rolled into sheet metal and glass. Visually, it's stunning. The proportions feel almost sculpted from air. A long wheelbase, short overhangs, and surfaces that flow from one end to the other with almost no interruption. There are no door handles in the traditional sense. The headlights and taillights are thin, illuminated slivers that wrap around the corners of the car. The kidney grille, still very much present, is reinterpreted as a closed, illuminated surface rather than an air intake. BMW designed the Vision Neue Klasse to look like a car that has shed everything it doesn't need, and the result is something that feels genuinely timeless, even though it's pointing toward the future. Inside, BMW imagined an entirely new kind of cockpit. The interior revolves around a concept called the BMW Shy Tech, technology that disappears until you need it. Surfaces shift from opaque to transparent. Projections appear on the windshield. The steering wheel and seat adjust automatically as you approach. Everything is orchestrated to make the act of driving feel intuitive and calm, rather than overwhelming. The Vision also previews BMW's thinking on sustainability in materials, bio-based textiles, responsibly sourced natural fibers, recycled components throughout. BMW is making a clear statement that luxury and responsibility are not mutually exclusive. In terms of performance, BMW hasn't revealed production-specific numbers for the concept. It's not that kind of car. But the Vision serves as a target, a definition of what the Neue Klasse should feel like, look like, and stand for as a complete philosophy. Head-to-head, how do they compare? So put all three side by side, and what do you actually have? The original i3 was radical in its construction. Fert body, purpose-built electric platform, sustainability messaging baked into every material choice. But it was ultimately a city car with city car limitations. It was brave, but niche. The new i3 Neue Klasse takes that bravery and scales it. It's larger, more capable, more refined, and built on a platform designed specifically to compete with the very best electric cars in the world, not just within BMW's own lineup, but against Tesla, Mercedes-EQ, and Hyundai Ioniq at their most ambitious. The Vision Neue Klasse sits above both of them, not as a car you can buy, but as an idea. It represents the ceiling of BMW's ambition, a car that reimagines the relationship between driver, machine, and environment from the ground up. What's remarkable is the thread that connects all three. Each one carries BMW's commitment to electric mobility as something worth doing properly. Not a checkbox, not a response to regulation, but a genuine creative and engineering challenge that the brand has chosen to own. From the i3's recycled eucalyptus dashboards in 2013, to the Neue Klasse's next-generation battery chemistry, to the Vision's Shy Tech interior that dissolves into the background, the philosophy has remained remarkably consistent even as the technology has transformed beyond recognition. The BMW i3. The BMW i3 Neue Klasse. The BMW Vision Neue Klasse. 3 cars, 1 name, and over a decade of electric ambition compressed into a single comparison. What this story really tells us is that getting electric mobility right takes time. The original i3 was a genuine pioneer, flawed, brave, and important. The Neue Klasse platform represents the payoff of everything BMW learned from that first generation. And the Vision? The Vision is a reminder that even when you've arrived, there's always somewhere further to go. If you're someone who's followed BMW's electric journey from the beginning, this is a genuinely exciting moment. And if you're just now paying attention, well, now is a pretty good time to start. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, hit subscribe. There's a lot more coming on the Neue Klasse platform and what it means for BMW's entire lineup going forward. See you in the next one.